on the dot on a Tuesday morning. It is April 30th. We're almost to May. What? And maybe you saw the meme I posted. I saw my entire Facebook and Twitter feeds were full of it. And I was like, well, you know what? Might as well join the bandwagon. Anyway, good morning to you. It is a beautiful morning. I'm WESH 2 first warning meteorologist Eric Burris. This is Coffee Talk. We get together about 7 days a week, chat about what's going on in the world of weather. I hope you're having a great start to the day. Let's raise our cup of coffee. Let's take a sip. And know that with coffee and a little bit of a good attitude, hopefully we're going to have a great, great day. Here's a live look outside on our Tower Cam network. There's Ponce Inlet. How pretty is that? Oh, man. You ever feel like you wish you could just sit on the beach with a little top over and just, like a cabana kind of thing and just sit there and relax? That's kind of the vibe I got today. I would love to just go play at the beach. I don't even want to go in. I just want to sit there. First warning, live Doppler radar. We have been watching a few showers this morning impacting our coastal areas. That has really kind of let up a bit here. You can see out over the Atlantic waters, there are some showers around. I think that this morning's shower activity is probably waning, not raining. Waning, and then we'll recycle, get everything ready to go, and this afternoon we'll get some thunderstorms firing on up. 70 right now in Orlando. Tell me that it's kind of starting to feel like summer without telling me it's kind of starting to feel like summer, right? 69 in Sanford, 65 degrees in DeLand, and our 12-hour forecast showing that while we're quiet now, later today, 20, even 30% coverage of seeing a few passing showers. Maybe even a few thunder showers. Let's take a look at Futurecast. See what it's throwing out there, okay? Starting off, and we're quiet, right? Offshore showers, 10, 11, 12 o'clock. Starting to see those showers popping back up in Brevard. Then that looks like sea breeze activity to me, with a collision out west, perhaps? Huh. Kind of interesting, right? Not a ton of stormy weather, but there will be some showers, perhaps a couple of thunder showers. Jan says we could use a drop of precipitation in Brevard for sure. Parts of Brevard did get rain this morning. So good on you for that, right? Let's continue on and see what's doing. Overnight, quiets down. Let's look at tomorrow. Still, by the way, the model trying to throw up some fog tomorrow morning. But, again, into tomorrow afternoon, could be talking about some showers and some thunder showers. So there's tomorrow morning. You kind of see that fog developing, clearing out. And boom goes the dynamite. There's the East Coast sea breeze, popcorning up some showers and some thunder showers. So, yeah, kind of getting back into that rainy season pattern. Does this, hi, Stella, does this stick? We'll have to see, right? There's no promises that it does, but at the very least, looking at the rain chances over the next couple of days, it's there, right? We're hinting that at least the rainy season could try and get going. Now, what do we look for in the rainy season? All right, let's just kind of illustrate this. Usually, it's late May that the rainy season actually kicks in. Okay, we see those daily showers and storms firing up, and perhaps the tall tale sign is when you have low temperatures and dew point temperatures in the upper 60s and lower 70s consistently. That's where you'd get it. All right, so case in point, look at our morning low temperatures right now. Obviously, upper 60s, lower 70s. If we look at the dew points around Central Florida, mid to upper 60s. So again, we're not like 100% there, but at least we're setting it up. Now, the big question, we're setting it up. Does that mean that we're starting the rainy season right now? The answer is no. And I'll tell you why. Because usually what you end up with is a very odd late season front, sneaks through, kind of drops the humidity enough that it resets everything. But at the very least, we're starting it off. So what you'll have is we'll kind of effectively what we always see is we start the rainy season, then a front sneaks through and it resets the counter. And then we'll restart. And the official start of the rainy season is when it doesn't get reset, basically. So the earliest on record is May of 1966. I don't expect that this week will be it. I expect that we'll get hints of it. It'll probably get that machine going, and then something will kind of mess around with it a little bit. But there you go. Earliest is in May, but we watch for those afternoon storms to get going, and it certainly seems at least like that pattern is firing up. Take a look at the 7-day forecast here, and you'll very clearly see the opportunities for rain with us. Now, we're not putting thunderstorms in there. We'll see what happens today. If today we get a couple of thunderstorms, then we'll probably make changes to the 7-day forecast, adding said thunderstorms. But yeah, that's kind of what we're looking at the moment. Right? Mr. Warren, good morning to you. Hope you all have a wonderful, blessed day. And if you see someone sad, try to put a smile on their face. I like it. I like it. All right, so how we doing? Questions, comments, concerns? Dean's asking, will La Nina interfere with the rainy season? So typically with La Nina, it just kind of aids in like tropical activity development. La Nina would typically give us kind of wetter rainy seasons, but, you know, we'll see how this goes. Janice says, you have the same birthday as Jerry Seinfeld. He's 30 years older. He's 70? Is he really? That's wild. Chris, we're in the rainy season. Florida, hold my beer. Oh, exactly right. Exactly right. Dean, what about La Nina? Will it make it less rainy this year? No. El Nino typically is drier. La Nina is typically wetter. And a good way, if there's one thing that you remember, it's that the latest onset of the rainy season was a heck of an El Nino year back in 1998 when literally Florida was on fire. So that's it. Are you going to remember? I'm going to remember that because 98 was like a massive El Nino. And yeah, so Matt, didn't last year take a while to get going? I remember it not last year. Recent years, it was later. So here's the last, I just updated this. Here's the last few years rainy season start date. So last year was actually mid-May. 22 and 21 were into June, and 2020 was late May. So yeah, last year was actually a little earlier than average. So that's kind of fun. Wow, Jerry Seinfeld is 70. Do not get older, Jerry Seinfeld. Stay the same. Shauna says, I'm anxious to see the forecast for next week and weekend. Hard to believe Rockville is next week. Is it? My God, you're right. We're going to have to put forecast graphics together for that. So here's the 7-day forecast. You know, it's obviously kind of a wet season preview. Does it mean thunderstorms? Again, we have to observe and see. Do we get, we're putting showers in there. But if Mother Nature says, yeah, we're going to do the thunderstorm thing, bro, then we will make the change and add thunderstorms to the 7-day. But I think at least at this moment, that's what we're doing is we're easing in. We're sliding in. But can you believe it? Man. Chris says, I remember 98. Oh, I remember it so well. Matt says, I was thinking of 22. Totally makes sense. I still need to download those pictures, Matt. I hope it's still on your website working, buddy. I've just been so busy. But it's, I think I want to put it there. I know. Yeah. Chris says, I remember 98, but I can't remember yesterday. Yeah, I do too. It's funny. I was with Mom yesterday and we were all talking around her about how yesterday was my 40th birthday, but like, I remember my mother's 40th birthday. And then it's like, I can't even remember what I did this morning. But I remember my mother's 40th birthday, years and years ago. So that's wild. Matt says, my goal this year is to safely get some lightning photos. As long as you are safe to it. Yeah, as long as you're safe, then I can support that. I got evacuated 3 times during the 98 fires. Did you really? Good night. Andy, good morning to you. Andy Pierce, good morning. Let's see here. Your pics are up there until I stop paying for the service. Also check the other folders I sent. Going to fill up a Sanford folder too. All right, I'm going to need to do that then, Matt. Thank you, buddy. Yeah, I've been running around with mom and work, so I haven't had a second to stop. But I'm still so grateful for that, for your pictures, and those are absolutely going to be put on my wall. What's funny, like you as in like there are you see 3 pictures, but like there are pictures that go all the way. There's probably what 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 6 across and 2 rows of it. So there's 12 pictures on my wall. But only these 3 are shown obviously on Coffee Talk. So that's why I'm going to put Matt's picture right here, so that it's visible, and because it's my little aviation corner. The other picture, I've got SpaceX. I've got landscape picture. I've got the 2 Concords landing at Orlando International Airport. So anyway, this is my favorite little room in the house. We need rain bad here in Dunellen. Well, and to that point, I'm happy to say we do have rain in the forecast today. We showed Futurecast already, but here's the kind of idea of where the sea breeze activity this afternoon could bring you some showers and thunder showers, and it's going to be through the metro area. So there's that for you. Tina, cannot believe you're 40. I cannot either. That's okay. That's okay. Cindy, the Concords. I'm sure it was cool. Yeah, they flew in simultaneously to Orlando International Airport for the opening of Epcot. So, yeah, it's kind of neat. I don't remember where I saw that picture. I want to say the Orlando International Airport social media page posted it, but kind of cool. Pat Gribben messaged me about the one with Chopper 2 and a Doom. Oh my God, Pat Gribben listen, Matt, if you want to talk about nerds, Pat Gribben and I would quote, like UConn always throws out Star Trek quotes in here all the time. Pat Gribben and I lived off of Star Trek quotes. That was oh my God, please, do I mind? It's yours. I mean, I'm grateful that you have shared it with me, but please, Pat's my buddy, and Pat spent more time in Chopper 2 than probably anybody else. He stood the test of time through pilots. Pat Gribben will tell you some stories. You want to talk about 98? Pat Gribben will share stories of Chopper 2 and the 98 wildfire and the 98 tornado outbreak. Which, now that we're having this conversation, I'm like, why have I not ever brought Pat Gribben to do a Coffee Talk drive-through? Pat, by the way, retired from WESH, but is still my buddy. And I still text him from time to time. Meet up every now and then if we can. Pat's good dude. Oh my God. Please share the picture. Darren, where's Cam? I would imagine right about now she's at home with her family. Janice, bring Pat on. Oh my gosh. Pat's my buddy. When he retired, it was probably one of, if not the most melancholy retirements I've had at WESH. Because I love Pat. And I was so angry at him for leaving me. I knew a few years ahead of time, but dang it. Bruce, because we haven't had a drive-through this year. That would make sense. That's on me. I'm sorry. I've got a couple of things I need to do. We're definitely going to have to get Phil Klotzbach on to chat. And, call it a drive-through, call it whatever you want, but we'll have to get Phil on. Yeah, Steph, that was Pat. Cindy, worse than when Claire retired because you were hecka bummed for that one. I mean, I would say at least on the same level, but I worked more intimately with Pat. Pat and I covered rocket launches, and I mean, Pat was my buddy. We went everywhere. Claire, I grew up watching, but I've never really worked directly with her, so it's just different, right? Cindy, good morning. Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry. I hope that I hope you're okay. I hope everything's okay. I hope you're okay. Barb, less nerdy. I love the Twister quotes. I gotta let you go. We have cows. Oh man. Yeah, that movie's terrible. I mean, I love it, but that movie's terrible. Chris, he didn't leave you. He was just preparing. Oh, yeah, preparing the way for your retirement. Yes, preparing the way for my retirement. Matt says Star Trek quotes are my thing. Anyone who quotes Star Trek is a friend. That's Matt. He's one of us, Matt. He's a super nerd. Coffee Talk drive-through with Mike from Mike's Weather Pages. Oh yeah, James. What? I still need to get going into hurricane season. We'll have to get him too. Yes, I need to do the things. Yeah, actually, let me message him. I haven't seen him on Coffee Talk in a minute. Let's see. Here it is. All right. Hey, bud. How's your schedule for a quick view on my Coffee Talk Friday by chance? All right, I'm messaging Mike from Mike's weather page. See if I can't get him. We're getting into hurricane season. That one would be worth. That one would be worth it. Claire was hard to get because she's retired and she had just retired and she was doing the things. So I never wanted to step on her toes. And then that just made the rest of it kind of fall apart. We had Marquise. Yeah, we had Marquise. Right. I see you talking. We had Marquise. We had a couple of people. Mike says, if you run out of guests, you should pick one of us sometimes. That's how it started. We used to do just random people. We used to do, I don't want to say random people, but I like put where you could put in your information and then you could, we could do it. I did it. And I'll tell you, when I did that, I was always wondering if I would ever get a creepy person that was just like speaking awfully, and profane, whatever. And it's funny because when I started doing Coffee Talk drive-through, it was just with our little community here. And a couple of my friends was like, in the TV business, where they were like, you ever get a creeper? And I'm like, I literally expected it. And I never did. So super grateful for that. Also super grateful y'all aren't creepers. All right, looks like Mike can do Friday. I think I can do Friday. 8 a.m. ish. All right. Janice, I was a random person. You're not random, but you know. My brother Frank, I was on my best behavior. See, Frank is the one that I was expecting. Bonnie says we weather people are the nice people. It's true. And Bonnie, I mean, you and I go ways back. Bruce says, hey, I wanted to be a creeper. I've met you enough times in person, Bruce. You couldn't be a creeper if you probably could. I'm grateful you aren't. You're pretty great people, honestly. Oh, man. Jan, I'm not a creeper, but I am weird. I feel like that's all of us. Right? Like, aren't we all a little? Like, all of us are. We're all, if you're not weird, then what are you even doing? All right, Mike said he's good for 8 a.m., so we'll have Mike on Friday. That's fun. Getting, warmed up for hurricane season, it makes sense. Debbie says, I enjoy any of our Coffee Talk family. I agree. And Mike hangs out from time to time, so it'll be perfect. We all have our quirks. It's so true. And did you misspell it on purpose? Quarks, like Quark, Star Trek Quark, or is that not, or am I just reading too deep into it? Mike's, how about an MCO controller for Coffee Talk? Talk about the rainy season. Now, see, Russell, that would be super cool, honestly. That would be super cool. Might have to email me on that one, Russell. That would be super cool for more than just Coffee Talk. Like, I feel like that's one that I would hit record on and make a TV story about. I feel like that's super cool. And I'll tell you, Alicia and I, so story time, Alicia and I, gosh, it's probably been 4 months ago now. It was at the end of the rainy season last year. Anyway, Alicia and I were flying into Sanford Airport. Russell, you'll get a kick out of this. And maybe I even talked about it then. We were flying into Sanford Airport, and Traycon is like, you called the wrong frequency. And Alex was running radio, so he made the mistake. Anyway, it was an easy mistake. But They're like, if you ever want to come down sometime and get a tour of TRACON. And so while we were down there, they were showing us about how they put in, flow patterns to slow traffic down and all that. And just seeing the screen with the flights, I mean, it's fascinating. So yeah, Russell, that would be fascinating. You triggered my aviation nerd and my weather nerd. Diane says my coffee talk and Mike's weather page worlds are colliding. We're all just nerds together, Might have some big viewership on Friday, especially if you announced it on his page. Look, we're all just hanging out and doing our thing. If we have more people, we'll have more people. Debbie, one of my favorites, and I like pre-read it before I said it out loud, but Debbie is so right. One of my favorites was when we had Kenneth Otto and his wife, Naomi. His coffee talk input is missed. And I would go farther and say, not only is his coffee talk input missed, but let's talk about how he loved his wife and how he was doing what he was doing to hold his wife's hand through that. If you watch that coffee talk, and if you remember it years ago, you remember how he was with his wife, and I'll never forget that. So that, yeah, Naomi is missed. Kenneth is missed. Kenneth was a sweet, 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 sweet man. Sweet, sweet man. Yeah. But I suppose that's a part of life. That's a part of life. We all have to deal with that in our little world, right? What did you miss? So Friday we're gonna have Mike from Mike's weather page on. So he shot me his email address, details, all that fun stuff. So we'll have Mike on, getting ready for hurricane season, and then we'll have I'll have to get Phil Klotzbach on, and we'll have to get we'll have to talk about some air traffic control and rainy season, which is that's absolutely super cool, and that's a story we've never done that I could think of. Taylor says, I miss talking to Kenneth. I do too. Yep. Patty, I really do miss audio messaging with Ken. Yeah. Melissa's asking, do you feel like this April has been drier than normal? Well, when we look at the data, give me a second, it's not been terrible, honestly. Almanac rain departure month to date. There's month to date. So we are in a deficit, right? Month to date around Central Florida. If we look at the year to date, we're in a deficit, right? For many locations. What's ironic is Melbourne is in a surplus, and yet Melbourne is among the drier locations and continuing to get drier, at least soil-wise, on the Keach-Byram Drought Index. Carol says, I've known Kenneth since he was a teenager. He's always been a sweet person. Oh my gosh, Carol, what a small world. Wow. What a small world. What a small world. Janice, you're a good interviewer. I enjoyed it. Oh, thank you. We've had some very lovely people in our community that passed away from cancer. Toby's another one, absolutely. And unfortunately, at some point, my mother will join the list. Man, cancer sucks. One day, we'll figure it out. That's all I can hope for, right? Frank says my sister has 2 more chemo sessions to go and she's doing great. She thanks you peeps for all the prayers. Keep it going. Buddy Bill is fighting cancer and, knock on wood, kicking the snot out of it right now. There's just too much of that going around. Yeah. Bill Fulton pops in every now and then. Don't know if he's in this morning or not, but Bill, prayers with you in your fight as well, sir. So that's where we're at, my friends. Getting warmer and warmer next couple of days. 90 on Wednesday and Thursday. Gotta love it. Kay Cannon, my husband died at 40 from colon cancer. Our kids were babies. We're going to find a cure one of these days. It's gotta happen. It's gotta happen. Gotta happen. Janice, my mother died from cancer. It was difficult to watch. That's kind of what's happening with my mom. My son is a cancer survivor. Yeah. Betty's asking if the humidity is rising. It is, yeah. And that's why we're starting to get these showers added into the forecast, right? Little by little by little. We'll keep doing the things, my friends. We'll keep doing the things. Sydney says, go figure. It gets warmer in my complex. Closes the pool for maintenance. Why can't they do that in the winter? You'd think they would, right? You'd think they would. I don't even know what to say to that. I don't even know what to say to that. You'd think that they would. Denise says, lost my mom to brain cancer in 2010. It's a monster. Don't like what it did to her. That's what my mother has. My mother has glioblastoma. Yeah. Joanne, both my parents died of cancer. Hate it. Awful. Just awful. Yep. All right. Questions, comments, concerns, friends? Anything? Barb kicked brain cancer at 29 with 3 kids under 5. Still rocking 25 years later. Keep praying. Barb, awesome. Love that. Shauna says, I can deal with rain at Rockville, but no lightning. That is insane, getting to the car of the grand. Yeah, I would imagine so. I would imagine so. Yep. All right, people. It's 8:26. I'm going to run. Doing some graphic stuff behind the scenes today. Got some fun stuff ahead. That's all I'm going to say. Got some fun stuff ahead. Carol says, my mom had glioblastoma, terrible disease. You know. Sending love to you and your family, Carol, for sure. All right, people. See you tomorrow, 8 o'clock. That work. Thank y'all for hanging out. Take care. Bye.